This series is going to be a little different. I know for a lot of attorneys, myself included, weight loss, stress, those types of things are really hard. And I think it's just the nature of our business, the fact that we're in such a confrontational, deadline driven business, that the stress is high, it's hard for us to eat healthy and do those types of things, and we struggle with it. And so I've been working on this for a little bit now. About the beginning of the year, I decided that I was going to really dedicate some time and energy to my own physical health and well-being, and it's been a struggle, right? And I figured, I'm sure I'm not the only person that's going through this, and so I'm going to start kind of a little video blog where we talk about this together, and I'll put up my thoughts and what's working for me and what's not, and I'd love to hear what's working for you or what's not working for you, things you've tried and haven't worked. For example, for me, I've tried a lot of different things. I've tried different crash diets and those types of stuff. You know, sometimes I lose weight, sometimes I don't. But what I have found that's been working the best for me is realizing that there's no such thing as good food and bad food. Some food has more calories than others. There's definitely, nutrients and stuff that you need with your body. But looking at food as good food and bad food has not been healthy for me. And so, like, we've had a bunch of birthdays recently. My birthday's in March, my son's in April. We got a bunch of family birthdays in April. And because of that, we've had birthday cake and those types of things, right? Instead of saying like birthday cake is bad, it's realizing, hey, birthday cake has a lot of calories in it, and that's okay. Just don't eat too much. And so my wife and I, we've been, tracking our calories, doing that kind of stuff, just to be more aware of what food we're putting in our body and what that does for us. And we spend quite a bit of time talking about this. Like, hey, like I ate my 1,500 calories today or whatever your number ends up being. I still feel really hungry. Like if I eat that piece of cake, then, that may end up being, depending on the size of the piece of cake, that may end up being my entire meal. Where if we, if we have vegetables with every meal, that's one of the things that's been really helpful for me, is if I have vegetables with every meal, they're rather filling and they're hardly any calories. Often it's like 40, 50 calories. And all of a sudden I feel full all day. And often I'll even have less calories than the day before when I don't do that. And so it's just those little things that have helped me pay attention. And so, I mean, I'm not expecting you guys to share this, but I'm going to just share my numbers and results with you. I started off at 250 pounds. That's a lot. I hate admitting that on social media, but that's a lot. For me, I'm now down to 227. So I've lost 23 pounds. Mostly, I've added some exercise in the morning. I go play basketball with some of my friends. I try on Tuesdays and Thursdays to hit the gym and lift some weights just to add a little bit of muscle. I'm really hit or miss on that. One of the things I've realized to help me get to the gym is I had to add something that I really enjoyed. So if I'm waking up in the morning and I know the next thing is going to the gym and lifting weights, I will almost always find an excuse to go back to bed. But if I bring my basketball with me and say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to shoot some hoops for like 15 minutes, then I'll go lift. I enjoy basketball. That's something that's really fun for me. And I used to be a really good three-point shooter, and that's definitely not the case after not having played for 15 years. So I've been shooting, I'm trying to get that form back, and I've really enjoyed it. And so I play 15 minutes of basketball, then I lift some weights. Sometimes I'll try and shoot after, which is comical. After I've lifted some weights, my shot's way off, but it just helps me go, right? So a little bit of working out in the morning, nothing special, no specific routine yet on that, but just trying to make a habit of going and then keeping track of calories. Now, again, this is a brutally honest vlog per se. So one of the other things I did is I did start one of those semi-glutide shots just to help curb the appetite and the food suppression. I've used a pretty small dose. It's still less than I see some people start off on, but it's just enough to like curb that appetite and help me be more attentive of what I'm eating. And honestly, I had a really hard time doing that at first. Like, man, am I a failure if I can't get this under control? And then I realized, like, I'm a coach, right? Like, my entire business is helping people understand, like, you can't do this yourself. Michael Jordan did not do what he did on his own. He had Tim Grover, who helped him physically and all those things. And I think he had a mentor on the basketball side as well, not just the physical training side. But every person that I've seen successful in life, I saw a thing that had like who was Bill Gates' mentor, who was Warren Buffett's mentor. Like everybody can't do this alone. And so why not go get some help? And I'm not saying that you should or shouldn't get shots, but you should definitely look into it. Some of the biggest people in our industry, that have, like in our legal industry, that have lost weight have done so with coaches. And so whether it's a coach or medicine or just an accountability partner that you go to the gym with, like don't try to do this alone. My wife, like she's not on any shots or anything, but she has one of her best friends in our neighborhood that she goes to the gym with. And my wife said just this morning, like, man, I woke up and I did not want to go. But knowing that my friend was going to go, like I couldn't not go, right? Like she's going to pick me up, like I can't leave her hanging. And so she got up and went. So don't try to do this journey alone, whether it's this vlog, whether it's your friends, whether it's help. Just don't do it alone. And I think that's what's going to help. So I'm going to give some updates on this. I'm going to try about once a week to give some updates of things that I'm doing, things that are working, things that aren't, my progress. Part of that is being accountable, right? Like I've just told everybody that I was once 250 pounds. I'm now 227 pounds. And next week I'm going to have to tell you what I'm at there. We'll probably try to find some other measurements as well. Obviously weight alone on the scale can be pretty tricky. I know for me especially, sometimes my weight is like super stagnant for a while. I got stuck at like 230 pounds for like 3-4 weeks. And then all of a sudden I lost 4 pounds. And I don't know why that is. I'm not a nutrition expert. By no means is anything that I'm saying on here like nutrition expertise. It's just what I'm seeing and what I'm doing and what's working and not working for me. If you guys have things, I'd love to hear what you guys hear. But like I stayed stagnant there and that was tough for me, right? So having other measurements, other things to predict and see your improvements can be really helpful. I use I'm going to start using some measurements like around my waist and other areas to see if I can track the fat loss there. I've also been starting to track, like the muscle weights and stuff that I've been using so that I can see like how much stronger and stuff I'm getting. But one time I think it was Tim Ferriss, he said that the more things you track, the more opportunities you have to win. And I love that because some things are going to work at sometimes and others aren't. But if you have enough stuff, you can get excited about the wins that you are having. So that's it, right? This is going to be pretty informal. I'm not going to edit it or anything like that. I'm just going to kind of pull over. This is like my favorite spot to record videos. I come out to this quiet lake and record some videos. So we're going to do that a little bit more often. And if you have any questions or thoughts or concerns or think I'm screwing it up or, have some tips to help me on my journey, I'd love to hear it. Like I am by no means the expert on this. And so I just love for this to kind of be a community where we come together and help each other with our physical fitness and stress goals. Thanks, guys.